everybody, and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to JP Air, and of course welcome back to our Around the World tour. Today we are back in Tahiti on leg 4 of the tour, heading across to Santiago, Chile. Starting off our crossing of South America, heading up to Central and then across North America. Today, of course, in the iniBuilds A350, lovely wide-body aircraft taking us over to Santiago in the Latam livery, with a lovely little bit of Santiago de Chile nose art on the front. It's currently 9 PM local time, or just past 9 PM local time here in Tahiti, and a nice cloudy evening or night time. It's already gone pretty dark already. We're looking at about a 9-hour flight over to Santiago today. Now, I'll be honest, I won't be sitting here for 9 hours waiting for this flight to be done. Of course, you can use flight compression or time compression within the A350 and of course within Microsoft Flight Simulator in general. So we're looking at probably a 4 times time compression for this flight, so probably about 2 hours, 3 hours flight we're looking at instead. But anyway, I'll keep it normal for the takeoff and landing, just the cruise will be a bit quicker, but hopefully that's a lot easier for the both of us. We've just had the crew boarded, waiting on the passengers now. Cargo is being loaded, we'll refuel the aircraft, and once that's done we'll be underway. We will be on VATSIM today. There's just been a little G8 aircraft flying around Tahiti at the moment, so we'll have a little look if he's still online. Maybe we'll catch him as we depart. Otherwise, it looks pretty quiet over to Santiago. If something does pop up, of course, we'll have a little chat to controllers or any other aircraft on frequency. But for now, we'll load the aircraft up, get the FMS sorted, look at the flight plan a little bit, and then get ourselves underway. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to it. Leave a like or subscribe. Comment down below if you are looking forward to the rest of the tour, and I hope you enjoy the video. So our passengers and cargo are loaded now. We're just waiting on the rest of the fuel to come in. This fuel on board, 35,800. We're looking for a fair bit more than that, to be honest. Let's see, we're looking for 78.2 tons, so almost about halfway there. A little over halfway there. We're just waiting on the rest of that to be filled. In the meantime, we can have a little look over our flight plan, what we're expecting for today. If we get up our Navigraph charts, here we are in Tahiti, taking off from far our airport. It's difficult to say. In Tahiti, taking the Ep.4 Echo departure, just around the outside of Tahiti, and here is our little DA-40 aircraft we were talking about before, the little GA aircraft. He's been flying around Tahiti and then he's landed and now he's heading off to his final destination. See, there's a little route around there. Anyway, we'll be flying around or past or over him, either way. Heading east a long way across the Pacific. We'll be passing over Easter Island here. Isla de Pascua, that's Easter Island. Or was that Christmas Island? Oh my god, I can't remember. One of the two, Easter or Christmas, either way. The one with the cool statues, you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll be passing over that and then heading over to the west coast of Chile with a nice easy descent and approach down towards runway 17 right with the ILS Zulu for that runway. A nice straight in arrival and approach towards Santiago. There we are, and then once we're down, we'll just be taking the first exit probably on uniform that we can. And I've just drawn this out a little bit from uniform, heading across Gulf and then parking somewhere along here in Terminal 1. I've chosen 18, but we'll see what's available when we land there. Anyway, that's sort of our departure, flight and arrival plan for this flight. And we'll see how that gets on. Once all the fuel's in, we'll jump back in and start our taxi. So there we go, refueling has just been completed. Waiting on the APU to start itself up. Doors are closed. Once the APU's on, we can get the GPU out of here, but for first, to start off with, we can arm all those doors. Have a little look through the checklist, see what there is left to complete before we start up. So slides are armed, beacon wheel turn on as we get ready to start, and the nozzle steering disconnect moment we'll get from the ground crew once they are in position. So let's get GSX to start pushing us back, and we'll get ourselves taxied over to the runway. And there we go, all pushed back and ready to go. Taxi lights are on. We can do a quick after start checklist if we wish. Why not? Let's see, anti-ice we will possibly need. Yeah, we'll get that on. Why not? Anti-ice engine 1 and 2, and window pro P will have on wings on as well. No wings don't need on, but engines we will. Flight controls are checked. Ground clearance we have received. That is that checklist complete, and we can do the final taxi checklist. So flap settings are flaps 1. Yep, checked. Radar is on. And the last thing we just need is the takeoff config test, which is a bit finicky in this aircraft. I'm not sure if it's going to actually want to do it. No, we'll get closer to the runway and then do it. Wait for the cabin to be ready as well anyway. So, either way, we are ready to head to the runway. Just take off the parking brake and let's get taxiing.
2 seconds later.
Of course, just as I'm about to set off, GSX decides to do some interesting things with a pushback tug in front of me. Anyway, we'll wait for that to get out of the way and then we'll start taxiing. Just approaching the end of the runway here. We can do our turnaround right down the end. We want as much of a takeoff roll as possible in this big bird. It's quite a long runway, although in Tahiti, I believe Air Tahiti knew we tend to use either 787s or A350s. They used to also use A340s, so you can probably guess that they would have needed a pretty long runway to take off in an A340, especially with the 787s that they've got as well. The Dreamliners, they are also in need of a pretty long runway. Anyway, we're getting ourselves turned around here. I don't want to run off into the grass. So just trying my best to get as tight of a turnaround as possible, and that looks pretty good. And get ourselves lined up, get ourselves ready for the final checklist. The taxi checklist should be complete now. We can do that final takeoff test, and there we go, it's both over to normal. We've got the all clear from the cabin in the meantime, so that's all good. That's all now complete. And I don't think there is any... Oh, there's a lineup checklist as well. So the cabin is secured. Takeoff runway, we can see right ahead of us, 04, packs 1 and 2 are set. Checklist complete. Got the perf page up, ready for departure. We'll get ourselves stopped right about here. Wind the engines up, ready for departure, and then we'll be on our way. We'll just get the flight plan up here, so we know where we're going. Right, that's looking good. 50% takeoff thrust. We'll do a quick VATSIM call to say that we're taking off as well, as we're rolling. 50% thrust, brakes released, manual thrust, manual thrust 43 SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Tahiti traffic, Latam 58 taking off runway 04, Tahiti traffic. There we go, I think the only person in the area is actually that Diamond 40 flying around, so we are out of the way of him either way. Also just need to get that back to a normal zoom. There we go. Actually see what I'm doing. Right, passing through 120, 130 knots, approaching V1 takeoff speed.
V1.
It's V1, and rotate. Positive rate, you can come up. Nice smooth takeoff in the A350. Passing through S speed, flaps are coming up. Throttle's back into the climb lever. We'll pitch the nose back down a bit just to keep our speed steady. Climb up to 9,000 feet, that'll be our first flight level for the departure. Let's get us back into arc mode, see where I'm going. There we go. Passing Moana, then we'll be reaching at 9,000 feet, and we'll continue up to our final flight level, I believe, of 390. We've got 350 and 370 as step climbs, but we'll see how that works. Either way, 390 will be our final. We'll keep anti-ice on for the meantime until we get through this cloud layer, although it's quite difficult to see. So far so good for a takeoff. just completing our initial turn off of the runway heading from Tahiti, heading up towards 9,000 feet. We're actually going to increase our altitude up to 39,000, just at our final cruise flight level, and then the aircraft can manage itself up there pretty easily. Don't need to mess around with that too much. That's all looking good. I'm pretty happy with that departure. I will be honest, I have tried to record this video once or twice before in the past, and either GSX has messed something up, or I myself have messed something up, of course, and I've just had to restart, so this is my third time trying to record this video, but that departure, I liked it, that was pretty good. We'll continue our way up to our cruise flight level. I think we're stopping off at 35,000 to begin with, and then step climbing up to 39,000, hitting that time compression to speed everything up a little bit, but like I said at the start, that's just how it is with a 9-hour flight. I'm not going to sit here for 9 hours. I do have other things to do, but yeah, we'll continue up and have a little montage once we're up there. Just jumping back in here to say we're about a minute and a half, couple of minutes from our top of climb, as you can see here. So 8:32 Zulu time, almost 8:33, expecting 8:34 on top of climb, and a bit of an overview of, in fact, of what I've done with the aircraft for our cruise, how it's going to look going forward. So, bit of a change, or well, not really a change, but how it should have been to begin with. We're going actually up to flight level 350, and that'll be our initial cruise altitude here. See that here. And then what I've done, which the A350 is able to do, is input these automatic step climbs. So essentially what's going to happen is after SAPOC, actually I'll quickly show it in the ERP just to make sure you see what's been sent to me, actually as the flight plan and then how it's been inputted. So we're going 350 to SAPOC, from SAPOC up to 370, and from ETSUG up to 390. So the idea is, at waypoint SAPOC, it will then climb up to flight level 370, fly at flight level 370 into ETSUG, at which point it will climb up to 390, that step climb, and then we'll continue on. So I've inputted those into the FMS, and what you can see here is from SAPOC, we'll then climb again up to flight level 370, so our step climb and then our top of climb, and that will carry on until we get to ETSUG, as it says in the step climb. Then we'll have a step climb and the top of climb up to flight level 390. So that is pretty much the idea of how it should work. Whether it works or not, I don't know. I haven't actually tried it out in the A350 yet. I just know that it does and should work in the A350, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, about a minute or so now from the top of climb, or at least we should be now soon. From there we'll just carry ourselves on across to, and I'm looking at the wrong one now. There we go. Now we're a minute from top of climb. Carry ourselves, or not fly ourselves on to SAPOC, and then it will go up to flight level 370, and then 390 after ETSUG. I hope that works. If it doesn't, then, well, my bad. But it should do. We'll see how that goes. Let's keep going. There we go, almost approaching our top of descent now, about 20 miles or so to go. It's a lovely flight across from Tahiti towards Santiago, coming up to our arrival now, in towards Santiago, and I think the aircraft is looking for some descent data. Yes it is, so we can do that. Back into the perf page, descent. Let's just check our transition level. I'm just going to stick up the Navigraph once more just to have a look. Transition level is 10,000 feet. So we will stick that in. It's flight level 100. And for the approach data, we'll fill in everything from over here. So we can go to our landing performance. Oops, sync sim brief. 17 right. There we go. And compute. So we're looking at 1503 for the wind. So 150 and 3, come on, 3 knots for the wind. That's pretty relaxed today, that's nice. We need the outside air temperature, which will be 8 degrees, and 1023 for the QNH. It's 8 degrees, and 1023 for the QNH. Yes, I did copy that right. Cool. Otherwise, barometric minimums. Once again, on Navigraph, we are looking at a cut to ILS approach, so 1651. 1651. And that'll be a radio altimeter of 100. Right. That is everything, I believe. We will be doing a full, I think we'll do a full, we might do a config 3 landing. We'll decide as we get lower. See how that looks. Otherwise, everything else over here is looking pretty good. We'll continue towards our double descent, which we have just passed. Yep, double descent reached. So we need to go down to 6,500 feet. And there we go. 2, 3, 4. Oh, I've gone the wrong way. There. Reset that. Optimal descent. That should catch up to the descent path there. And we'll have a nice relaxed descent down towards Santiago. With this great descent over the Andes, we can start getting ourselves ready for the approach. So we just dropped a little bit under our descent profile. I've been using the speed brake to try and manage that as best I can. You can see we're going pretty fast as is, so hopefully the plane can pitch up a little bit and fix that for me. Now, we can do is go through our checklist menu. So for the approach, barrel reference, we had 1023, we can set that just to be ready once we break through the transition level of 10,000 feet. So that can be set. Seat belts we can turn on once we get a bit lower. Minimums, we have that set already as the Barrow 1651, so they are set. Runway conditions are dry, and auto brakes we can set now. There we go. Other than the seat belts, we are ready for the approach. We're heading down towards 10,000 feet now, passing through these cloud layers just over the Andes, so we can do our final checks. Bit of an overview of the descent and the approach and what we're doing. So back into Navigraph, we can have a look at the star approach. So that's the Simok 7 Bravo arrival, which we are following with the transition at Timos. So we're just passing here, we have to be above 10,000 feet, which we are. We're at 10,600 feet, that's great. And from here, heading down to Ula 8,000, and then turning right from there towards Timos, down to 6,500 feet. From there we join the ILS Zulu approach, or yes, approach indeed, from Timos at 6,500 down to Sedpa at 5,000. From there we should be able to capture the glide slope and then make our way down towards the runway at 1,551 feet. So pretty easy arrival there. From there, landing on runway 17 right, we'll turn off to the left either at uniform or whiskey, hoping to get uniform as best we can. And from there, uniform as drawn here, golf, and then to the Terminal 1 parking area. If we end up at whiskey, we'll come off, take Zulu 3, Papa north, and then golf to the right, back to the terminal. Nice and easy. Hopefully that all goes smoothly. We'll see how that goes. And now that we've passed through 10,000 feet, we can get the landing lights on, nose lights to taxi, and we can stick our QNH back to local Russia. Continuing down through where we're heading through now, Ugla. Got to be above 8,000 feet, and we are 9,200. That's all looking good. Carrying down, we should capture or meet with the top of our descent path around Sedpa, so perfect. We should be able to capture the glide slope just before it, capture the localizer, all those good things, and then take the ILS down towards Santiago. Nice and easy. Going towards Timos now, we can drop this back down to 5,000 feet for our final altitude and activate the approach. That should start the reduction of speed. We'll take it over once it gets a bit lower. I mean, we're still a ways out from runway 17 right, but we can start our descent as it is now. In fact, we can arm the approach. That should capture the localizer almost straight away if I put it into the LS bug mode. There we go. There we go, localizer captured. Should reduce the speed down to 200, that green dot speed here for the A350. And in doing so, in fact, we can start to get some flaps out. We'll get a bit closer and do a VATSIM call out. There's not too many people on the VATSIM network as of this moment. There was an Iberia flight coming in from Madrid, which landed about 10 minutes prior to us, but they are already parked at the gate, so they are no factor to us. Continuing down, localizer captured, glide slope is coming into the picture now. We should capture that any second now. From there, speed going down towards S speed. Once it hits that, we'll get our second notch of flaps out, and once those are out, gear can come down as we are on the descent down towards Santiago. Glide slope captured, there we go. We can get the second notch of flaps out. And we shall arm our ground spoilers. There we go. One last check at the checklist. I'll do our landing checklist to make sure everything's ready. So seatbelts are on, landing gear will be down in a second. Ground spoilers are armed and flaps will be down to flaps 3 any moment now. So the set put is roughly 11 miles from landing, so we will continue flaps 2. 180, 170 in fact, maybe. If I can get it to bug properly. There we go, got 170 knots until around 5 mile final, or 6 or 7 mile final, we'll see how that goes. Drop the gear down, we'll go gear flaps 3, and then we're ready for landing. About 7.5 miles out now, flaps 3 and gear coming down. Go back to manage speed. Landing checklist complete. It's all looking good. Just cool the cabin, make sure they're set down. Just watching that speed come down towards our final approach speed. We've got Ep.4. That is the 139 VREF plus 5. Just waiting on that cabin ready notification to turn green. Five-mile final, we'll do a VATSIM call. Santiago traffic, Latam 58, established 5-mile final, runway 17 right, Santiago traffic. Alright, hopefully they're ready for us. Established on the descent now. In case we go around, we'll climb back up to 5,000. Feet above now. Take over.
1,000.
Yeah, let's get it. Shush. Just following those ILS indicators as best I can. A350 is of course a pretty heavy plane, but I'll be honest, the landing can't be as worse as my A340 video, the last one, so we'll see how this goes. Nice clear day approaching Santiago, 17 right is in sight. Getting a bit high on the glide slope here, dropping back down a little
500.
bit more.
400.
Minimums are about 100. 100 feet, so it should be coming up any point soon.
200. 100 above. 100. 90, 80, 70, 60, minimum 50,
Checked.
40, 30, 20, retard, 10, retard 5.
And touchdown. Versus... There we go. Reverses, arms and green. Be braking pretty hard to try and get off at this uniform exit. Manual braking. Auto brake is off. And we can head to the left on uniform here. Santiago traffic, Latam 58 is vacating runway 17 right at uniform. Santiago traffic. There we go, that was a pretty nice landing. Bit sketchy at the end, bit bumpy, definitely can improve on it, but all in all, not too awful. I'll have to check Volanta later for the landing rate, but I think that was pretty good. Right, vacating at uniform here. So landing lights can come off, strobe can come off, auto, and we'll continue along here. I think we said gate 18 along Gulf for our arrival, so let's see if GSX wants to play today. We'll do it via the EFB here. Oh god, which gate is it going to be? I think it should just be gate. Yeah, there we go. Gate 18 with safe dock. And we'll take Latam Chile, or Land Chile. Looking on the ground here, we've got 15, 16, 17, 18 up there. Somewhere over here should be our gate. I do hope this gate is big enough. It should be. We'll see, yep, there's GSX spawning everything in, so we seem to be in the right place. I have no idea how good of a job this parking is, but we will find out in a moment. That looks... oh god, it looks alright. Don't know if I'm too happy with that lineup, but that's okay. Get it centered. Oh, I forgot to turn the APU on. Quick. Oh no, not the landing lights. Oh god, I'm doing everything wrong. Last minute, there we go. Yeah, okay, parked. We're in. I'm pretty sure I've still got my flaps down. Yes. Stressful landing in the A350, but we're here and we are parked. Wait for the APU to spool up, and then we'll shut down the engines. And there we go. Welcome to Santiago in Chile. Welcome to South America. I hope you enjoyed that flight. I know I did. It's very interesting to fly the A350. I think it's the first time I've flown it on this channel. Anyway, I do love this aircraft. It's huge. It's a big bird to fly, and on landings it can get a bit interesting, but I think that went pretty well. That was a pretty smooth landing, I'll have to say so myself. I'll check the landing rate. I'll stick it on the screen now, and hopefully it's low. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe if you did. I look forward to having you back and joining in the next leg of our journey across South America. But until then, I hope you have a great day, great weekend, and a great rest of your week. Until then, bye-bye now.